Good Friday afternoon, everyone. I decided that I would come live to finish up the thrifting haul I had did earlier in the week. Before you come in, please hit that thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and share this video. So I decided to go out and get the other things in my trunk so that I could continue. Hey, Rudy, welcome in. Good to see you. It's 5:16 p.m. Central, so this is Eastern Standard, so it's 6:17 here. It's a little bright because the sun is setting, but at least we have a nice picture. It's good to see you, Rudy. Thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate that. And Rudy, how are you doing today? Are you having a good day today? So hopefully you are. We'll give it just a few minutes. I do have some other items to show. Some things a piece that I have been repairing and some other things, and you just never know what I'm going to have. So that's the exciting part about it, right? Let's see. So we'll give it just a few more minutes. For more people to come in, and we'll get right to it. Last night I was working on a Coro piece that it's probably from the 60s, and I bought it, and all of the little pieces, the stones and whatnot were there. So I used Gorilla Glue, and this has a bracelet and a necklace. It's a bracelet necklace set. Of course, it's pink. So on the earrings, I had to take off the stones off those, and they're clip earrings, and normally I don't wear clip earrings that much, so I wanted to preserve the beautiful Coro necklace and the bracelet. So I'm going to go back in and make sure that a lot of these are secure because, I noticed on, where I bought it, the person had all the pieces in a bag. And thank goodness that they were larger. And I'm going to check every piece because I noticed that the glue on a lot of this was brown, which is an indicator of age, and it just kind of let go. So I'll probably go back through and check again to make sure that all the things are secure. It looks like we have one right here on the end. So I decided to preserve the beautiful necklace, and the bracelet's about that wide in my favorite color. So one of the things that I picked up, and I got this at the Goodwill, this is full of faceted glass beads, and they all have holes in them. And there's two different sizes. Here's one size, and it's faceted. It's not AB coated, but it is faceted. So there's two different sizes, and really beautiful. I just wish they were AB coated, but it doesn't make any difference because they're beautiful, and I have a whole slew of them. So I need to get creative and start working on a necklace because all these are glass that came in this container. So there's that. I don't know what this was used for. It looks like that maybe at one time there may have been something on top of that. I really don't know, but I thought it was neat, and the glass beads in it were far worth what I paid for it, which was not very much. So I know if you go to purchase glass beads, it's pretty costly, and I have a whole thing of them. So then this is the it's Coro necklace that I have been working on. Those pieces right there he put them for me in a bag, And like I said, I did use Gorilla Glue, and I'm going to go back in and make sure each one is secure on that. And the bracelet is really beautiful. And here is the necklace. Thank goodness for extenders because I can add one on there, but it's a beautiful coral piece. I think it's probably from the 60s. I haven't Googled it yet. I'll do it out of curiosity right now. Hey, Laura, welcome in. Let me see what year this Coro is. But all he had, all the pieces that went to this in a bag. So all I had to do was just glue it down. So it is a Coro, and I think it's older. And I'm going to take a quick picture of this. And I think it's probably from the 60s, but it's in my favorite color. And, he showed me how many, pieces that had to be put back. And of course, if it's a Coro, I call that a labor of love for sure. So let me see what year. And the bracelet is really wide on for this one. I like Coro. I like Lisner. I do have a Kirk's Folly coming and a Sorelli, the necklace and matching earrings on the way. So, vintage Lisner pink hearts moonglow lucite. These these little leaf like things are lucite. How about that? Let's go in here and see if this is the same one. It looks like it. No, that's a different one, but it's still. I believe that what's on here is lucite as well. I do have the matching bracelet, and like I said, I'm going to go back in and check every one of them because something that I noticed about the ones that were off of there was that the glue was brown, and that's just an indicator of age. So I'm going to check each and every one of them, and the bracelet is beautiful. It's downstairs. I wanted to make sure that, like I said, I'm going to have to take a few of those and check each and every one of them. And I bet you a quarter that is lucite. And see those little pink stones in between there? Isn't that beautiful? And the bracelet is twice the length, twice the width of this necklace. But yes, it is vintage Coro. And y'all know how I feel about a Coro or a Lisner. Another piece that I'll show you, I just got today. Let's see if I can find my. Where's my white one at? I should have a white one here somewhere. So, I'll tell you, I was organized the other day. You ought to saw it because look at it now. But anyway, this is a beautiful Lisner, and it is in excellent condition, and it's beautiful. And that is the beautiful Lisner. And I have the matching earrings that go with it. So I do have a set. Isn't that gorgeous? And guys, this looks to me, this almost looks like it was never worn. Here's the back construction of it. It looks like it was never worn. It's in good shape. And they are Lisner. And it is a set. That's the first time I would have agreed to blue because of what it was. And there's your earrings right there. Look at that bling. So that's a Lisner. Like I said, I have a Kirk's Folly and a Sorelli coming. So I like to kind of collect those brand names. I'm so guilty. But anyway, you only live once. But here's these glass beads, Laura, that I picked up. Let me see if I can't. They were in this container and they're glass. They're not AB coated, but there's two different sizes and they are glass. And they are faceted. And I thought, man, wasn't that was a steal of a deal. See the facets in that? That's something. There's a bigger one, and then we have this one here, and they're faceted, but they are not AB. But it doesn't matter when you have faceted glass. Any light that comes off of it, it's gonna just reflect really nice. I don't know what this container is, but they came in this. There could have been a stopper or something in there at one time. Let me douse that light. It was a good price, and I said, why not? So, you think about glass beads, to buy that many glass. Hey, Dawn, welcome in. To buy that many glass beads, you're talking about some money right there. So last night I sat on the floor watching Dawn's channel and working on my Coro necklace. So I'm going to go through each, and it's lucite. And I'm going to go through each and every one of those and make sure that they are secure because the bracelet's 3 times the width of that. So there's that. My daughter brought this stuff up here and set it over there. Hang on just a second. I had to get this out of my trunk. So here's a box right here that has something in it. Dawn, this is the blouse that I bought from you. Isn't it pretty? I tied it down here on the side. It was just a little big, and I tied it right there on the side and brought it down. It looks pretty good. But this is, thank you, Dawn. It kind of reminds me of a Marachi type. I must say I've never worn one like this before. So this did not come from the mustard seed. It came from the Goodwill. Sometimes when I'm in Scott County, I'll take a trip in there and check out and see what they have. And on this particular, I tell you, these stickers can be really a pain in the behind, that's for sure. By the time I get that off of there, it'll be this time tomorrow. Now, where's my scraper at? Oh, hang on. But I found this right here, and it's a special piece. And as you can tell, it's really, really, hey, Ginger, welcome in. As you can tell, it's old. And I'll tell you what it is. I kind of just go in and look for, let me see if I can't get that off of there. But let me get that sticker off. We may not get it all off of there, but I think I took a picture of it. Let me see if I can find it. But as you can see, you can tell that is really, really old. And I took a picture. It looks like it has grapes and maybe a peach right there. And I'll tell you what it is. When I go in to scope things out, it seems like I'm always drawn to this older stuff. So let me save time. We'll camera this and I'll tell you what it is. So I knew it was old, but I could tell by the way it looked, it was older. So I picked it up and my instincts were correct. I went ahead and the sun's coming. It's that time of day where the sun comes in and aggravates the daylights out of you. Whoops. So this is a vintage Federal Glass. Let me make sure it's the right one. It is vintage Federal Glass, ruffled edge, circa 1955. So that is Federal Glass right there from 1955 with the little fruit, the grapes and the peach, and it's Federal Glass. So it's an older piece for sure. Let me see if I can find my ruler. You mean to bring something upstairs and you forget it every time, or at least I do. Let's see, I hate to run back downstairs and be winded by the time. Where is my ruler? Oh, duh. I normally don't talk to myself, but when I do, I never answer myself. Excuse that light. So we're looking at about 10 and a quarter wide and about 2 inches deep. It is Federal Glass. It is circa 1955. Let me see what else this has to say about it. I think it may be pressed glass. I'm not for sure. Vintage Federal Glass Bowl, ruffled edge, circa 1955, glass round, 11.5 inches. This vintage clear glass fruit bowl features fluted edges, a round shape, perfect for all occasions. Made in the mid 20th century, this original piece has a mid century modern style and a glossy finish. The bowl has a fruit and vegetable theme with a pattern of fruit on the exterior. So that's an oldie. That's from 19 from the 1950s. So that's an older one. Yeah, 1955. So that is definitely an older one. So there's that one. Sometimes you can go in Goodwill, and sometimes some Goodwill, thank you, Laura, are more expensive than others. You just have to, I just kind of, if I think it's old and I take a picture of it and Google it and it is, I usually pick it up. But you know me, this girl ain't paying no big price for nothing. So this is different. I'm not really for sure what this is used for, but I know what I would use it for. And it's all glass. I don't think it's an older piece. I really couldn't find anything on this, but I would put it, this is all glass. And the little feet on the bottom are glass as well. This would be beautiful with an arrangement of candles on it, sitting on a table. You could even, at Christmas time, you could even decorate it for Christmas. I think it's just pressed glass. But the thing that intrigued me was the little glass legs on it. And I thought that would be a beautiful decor ideal for people who like to jazz it up. It's 11 and a half inches by 12. Wait a minute. Wait. By 11 and a half. Like I said, I could imagine this setting with a candle arrangement on it, maybe some lights, twinkle lights, and then some kind of decorative thing. And it is glass. Believe it or not, I have shipped something longer than this, about the same thickness, and it got there in one piece because I used pool noodles on it. This would be the same. I would put pool noodles all the way around this because that we don't want that. But I just thought it was a neat little piece. It has the glass legs on it. So that would be, and this is like, I don't know, kind of like a laser type cut right there. And I just thought it was different and something that somebody might like. So let's see what's next. So this was the find of a life, well, not a lifetime. I found things that probably were a little more amazing, but that is Anchor Hawking, and I got 8 of them. And I believe this is from the 60s. All of them are in really good condition. There's the bottom, and it is an amber color, and it is Anchor Hawking. And I have 8 of them. How often do you get vintage glassware and get several pieces at one time? Because usually a lot of it gets broken. Let's go through here, this gallery. So they are approximately about almost 5.5 inches tall, so that's pretty decent from the bottom of the stem to the top. And here's what it says about them. I get lucky on this glassware. I find that Fenton set that was amber was, I'll tell you, that was like lightning striking twice. Thank you guys. How sweet. Thank you. Appreciate that. Oh my goodness. Is that the same? I guess it is. What this what this describes these as is Anchor Hawking Georgian Amber Topaz. So this, let me see if I can't find where, maybe what year these are from, but I have 8 of them. That's like lightning striking twice in the same spot, like never. You ought to see the replacement on these. Mercy. Let's go back. See if I can nail down a year, but they are vintage. They are in excellent condition, amber color, Anchor Hawking Topaz, amber Georgian footed iced tea tumblers. Mercy. So let's see if we can nail down set of mine would be a set of 8 instead of 5. Vintage Anchor Hawking Topaz Amber Georgian footed iced tea tumblers, 5.2 in height, 3 in diameter, and I have 8 of them. So that's pretty good, I would say. Pretty good. And there's 8. I'm the type of person, I won't buy anything unless they're in even numbers. I don't know, maybe I'm superstitious, but that's just the way I am. Alrighty then. Let's see what. Oh God, these are special, you guys. And wait till I tell you and explain why. And I have 2 of them. There's 2 of these. Let me locate the other one. A lot of times, people luck on to maybe one. I've got a pair. I got a pair, and they're identical. And I'm going to tell you what they are and what significance they are. When I first looked at them, I thought, well, those aren't really, really fancy, but I had to look into it because I didn't know. You don't want to pass up on anything good, that's for sure. Let's go back, go back, go back. That's not it. I know I took a picture. Maybe it's more this way. Let's see. Uh-huh. And I'll tell you what these are. And I do have a set of these, which sometimes when you get a set of anything, you're kind of lucky because, like I said, lightning doth not strike twice in the same spot sometimes. So here's what we have. Mercy, and one of them's really, here's what we have. This is vintage 1940s. Let me get it by the bottom here. From the 1940s, guys. Heisley, Heisey glass in lariat pattern, Western cowgirl. Now, I don't know. Isn't that pretty? But it's a glass from the 1940s. It's Heisney, and I have a pair. Why they entitled it Western Cowgirl pattern, I don't know, but I thought that I just took a chance that it may be from the 1940s, so that's pretty cool. So definitely not a crystal piece, but it's kind of neat the way it's made. I could imagine something around the bottom of this, like some floral or ivy, and then your coordinating candles up here would be really pretty. And I have two of them. Talk about that was luck. Usually you never find, if you find two of anything, it's pretty fortunate. If you find more than that, it's a miracle. So let me see. They wrap this stuff. Oh, here we have the 75th anniversary of Planters Peanuts jar. Let me see if I can't get it up here so you can see it. But here's what it says. Turn it that way. So on the lid it says, I guess that's a number, 1906, 1861. Here is the, well, that ain't going to work, is it? Let's douse it. Here's what it has on the lid. These are in excellent condition. You may not be able to see it, but I will try my best. And here you have the 75th anniversary of Planters Peanuts. There's your peanut there, Planters, and 75th anniversary, and I have two of them. Mr. Peanut, very collectible, very, very collectible, and I just happened to get two of them. Let's see, gallery. Let's go back. No, this way, this way, this way. So right here. So, but yeah, they're in good condition. It is vintage Planters Peanuts clear glass 75th anniversary jar. So here we have, I think it's from 1981. That's a year before I graduated high school. Oh my God, I feel so old. It's like that. Maybe the swirly part represents a rope. That's a good point, Dawn. You're probably right. There you have the little, it's pretty clean. It goes down in here. And it is for a person that collects old. This is kind of like an old advertisement, really. This is coming in at almost 8 inches tall. My hand's itching. I'm going to get some money. So there's your Mr. Peanut. Move him in and be still. There he is, 75th anniversary. You just never know what people collect. You know what? Let's set him over there. And see, these are the glasses. I know for sure. See, that's why if I keep them like this, then they're already pre-wrapped. All I gotta do is put bubble wrap around them, and boom, out the door they go. Let's see what else. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's that. So that's basically the rest of it. And what I wanted to tell you guys, I got an email from the Small Business Association, which someone took out a loan in my name, and I just got tired of it. And I said, here you're saying that I owe you this money. I want some information too. I said, number one, was this done online? What happened? I said, I have a right to know. So he said that someone physically came in a bank now and used my information, but it had, and I'm like, wait a minute. I said, how could they do that? He said they had a different picture on the driver's license. And so I was just so aggravated, and I tried not to get really nasty. And I said, you guys have all this information, and your money's not there because you don't see it. Oh, I was getting hot. And then he said, I think he tried to calm me down, and he goes, my allergies are bothering me. He goes, I've something about the weather changes like I change wives. And I'm like, okay. But he said someone physically went in a bank and got that money. And I'm like, wait a minute, is there two people on this earth that look exactly like me? He said, no. That I was, yeah, I know that's who I was talking to because I dialed the number from there. And then later on, he tells me he's a Christian, but the changing of the wives. And I thought, whatever, I don't care. I'm thinking, I don't care how many wives you change. But, and I said, let me ask you a question. I said, how many people during this time, during the pandemic, that got their information stolen? Hold on to your hats and let this sink in. 3 million people's information was stolen from the time after the pandemic on to 2 years. 3 million people. Now you ask yourself, I told him, I said, what is wrong with these people? I said, when you take out a loan for a sizable amount, I said, why didn't you ask for a birth certificate? Silence. You could hear a cricket. And I'm like, it's why didn't you ask for a birth certificate, 2 pieces of mail with a current bill and an address on it? I said, why wasn't that done? And he said, well, he didn't say nothing. And then he said that the current administration is cutting jobs. And I'm thinking, no wonder, you idiot. Really? If they would have asked for that person's birth certificate and they didn't have it, or they told them they needed it, they would have never showed up. Now, this is your government for you. So he said, well, we need another picture of you with your license so that we can read the words on it. Then I have to redo page 1 of the complaint. And he goes, well, it was so small. I said, hello. I said, I had a line that big. I said, what was I supposed to do? He was making me mad. And he goes, just send me those two pieces of information. I said, by the way, I said, what is wrong when 2 years they took it out and 2 years passed? So they decided in 2 years that they was going to then send a bill. Hello, how stupid. And this is the government that's in charge of our money. Isn't that crazy? I mean, and y'all know this for a fact. If you took out a loan and you missed that first payment, they'd be ready to garnish your wages and take whatever they could. Now, it don't make sense. I mean, why did they wait 2 years? And I said, let me tell you something. I never received one payment thing on this loan. And I said, I don't care if you believe me or not. I said, you can take that to the bank. I said, maybe that's what was wrong. You were taken at the bank. Oh, I was so mad. But I just wanted to, and see, we have everything locked down through the three TransUnion and all of it. It's all locked down. So it's like, I don't understand it. It's just a malfeasance in duties, is what it is. Oh, I'm all right now, Alfonso, after I blew off my complaint. No, I'm kidding. I'm doing pretty good. I just was a little aggravated earlier, but my goodness, what kind of entity waits 2 years now, does not receive any payment toward that loan, period, and then pops you with a 20 something for $20,000. Now, there's all kinds of stuff wrong with that. But like I said, if you can, if you're able to have all that blocked through TransUnion and all that, because I tell you, it can happen to anyone, and it happened to 3 million people. That's how many people's identity was stolen because it came from, he told me, I said, look, how many people's identity was stolen during this time? So, oh, he made me so mad. I don't care how many wives he changed. What that got to do? He could tell I was upset and about ready to drill him. So he kind of had to crack a joke. I don't know if he was joking or if he was serious. But it might behoove you to have it set up to where, because it can destroy your credit, it can ruin your life. He said this elderly man, somebody did him like that, and he was going to have to pay 300 and some odd dollars a month and made 1,300 Social Security, and that's all he got, and he was done that way. Can you imagine? What they do is they get these people that have really good credit. They don't want to mess with these people that don't. And I'm sure when they look back on mine, the brilliance was so bright it probably blinded them because I pay for my stuff. I'm not a bankruptcy person. And they thought, wow, how fast can you get to the bank? I think we're gonna roll the red carpet out for you because your credit is amazing. And it was somebody that he said more than likely it was probably a guy that perpetrated it and had this lady go in, and he probably gave her part of the money. It was $20,000. She got a good payday. And I said, you know what? I said, what about the CTC cameras in banks? But I said, you waited 2 years before you contacted me. I said, you will never catch them, ever. I said, that's on you. I said, you're not setting me up for your mistake. I tell you what, they don't want to get me mad. I don't curse, but I can sure stripe a person's legs real fast. And I do get upset, but that's ridiculous. He goes, oh my goodness, look at this paperwork. And I said, it's fun, isn't it? And I meant it sarcastic because I'm the one that had to send it. I said, that was fun, wasn't it? And I meant it sarcastic. You know, there was just, you would think that something that has to do with money, people would be a little bit smarter about it. I said, if you would have asked for a birth certificate and those two pieces of information, I said, look what you asked for from me, tax returns, bank accounts. Why wasn't you smart enough to ask something? That's stupid. I know, Don, but they know I didn't do it. They just want to him haul around. And he goes, once I get the selfie so he can read the license. You got to hold it. Now, how stupid. Hold it up by your face. I'm going to send him something, all right. I remember losing my wallet when I was in college back in 2016. I called my bank to cancel my credit debit card and took them 2 weeks to cancel, which I was still responsible for any unauthorized charge. So I decided to close my account. Isn't that awful? But no, they couldn't. To me, if you're going to get a loan like that, I would want your birth certificate, your now see that birth certificate right there, they would have never came back because they could have never provided it. Now, I'm not saying I'm a genius, but daggone it, why don't they use their brain? If you're going to get a loan, I mean, I want to know everything about you. I want your birth certificate. I want proof of your address and this, that, and the other. How stupid. And this is the government that's taking care of our money. Be be leery of that. Oh, I'm talking about why do they asking for more documents? Well, Laura, they said that the first page of that one document where the it was filed for the identity theft. Down here they ask if you ever have you ever experienced something relative like this before, and here's what we're talking about. There's two lines about like that. And he goes, "Well, I couldn't see it when I expanded it." Well, if they'd expanded their brain before they handed out $20,000, it would have helped. And see, that's what they want. They want a shot of me, facial selfie, holding the license by my face so they can read the information on the license. I know. Look, like I said, if they would have told him, well, I need to see your birth certificate, they didn't do that. They just handed it out. There's a bunch of idiots up there. And he goes, well, the administration is cutting jobs. And I'm thinking, I wanted to say something so bad. I thought, well, look at the idiots that work up there that hand out 20 grand to somebody with very minimal information. Hey, Beth, I'm sorry. I'm just upset about that. I'm not yelling at anyone. I'm just aggravated. But, and but 3 million people's information was stolen. And that's how dumb they ought to close it down totally for them being stupid. You know, I think the word idiocy would apply here. They're cutting jobs of people who don't show up. And he said he was 71 and blah, blah, blah. And I said, we sent you how many? Almost 200 pieces of paperwork from our taxes and our bank accounts. Now, I'm not a genius, but I could look at documentation, and if I don't see $20,000, I would know the person was innocent. What are they thinking with up there? Oh, Ginger, I'm harmless. That's what they used to say when I worked, Ginger. They'd say, don't you make her mad. You'll regret it. I'm harmless, though, but we're talking about $20,800. So let me start at the beginning for those who just came in that may not know. Last year, it was right at the beginning of summer, I received this thing from the Small Business Association. and it's a ticket that has something attached saying that I that I owe 20,800 some odd dollars. So naturally, I'm about ready to lose it. And so I go directly on their website and file a an identity theft, and that's what it was. But and then and see, this loan was taken out 2 years previous, 2 years now. Let's review. Now, if you were a bank and you loaned someone money, and even after and they let it go for 2 years and decided that they was going to send a bill for in its entirety. I never received no payment coupons because if I had of, I could have solved that immediately. See, they're stupid. I tell you, they don't want to get me mad because I'll tell them how stupid they really are. And these are the kind of people that's in charge of our money. This is who. This is what stupidity. So they wanted bank accounts, tax papers in its entirety, not just the front, not the middle. It was over 200 pages sent to them. And so all that was sent to them, and they wanted a selfie. And at first, they wanted the selfie with the front and the back of the license. Stupid. And so it took them from last summer till recently to contact me. Ginger, if I was president, there'd be more heads cut in government. You could hear a cricket in that office because they're stupid and they're lazy. Excuse my, here I've got the ruler out. But I'd look up, so you would think, well, this person took out a $20,000 loan, supposedly. Now, why didn't this person receive payment slips to pay for that? Then 2 years later, they just get a thing in the mail saying that you owe 20,800 and some odd dollars. So you can imagine how aggravated that I was. And this guy gave me the number to his personal line. And I must say, I was aggravated when I called. And I finally said, hey, did they do it online? How'd they do it? He said that they physically went in the bank with a license with my information and someone else's picture on it. And I'm like, why didn't they ask for a birth certificate or 2 pieces of mail that has the address on it from a recent bill? Because they're stupid. They're not going to hook me for it. I have presented everything that they want. What am I going to have to do? Go to their office and put a pair of glasses on them so they can see? If I do, I'd probably smack them down their throat. But anyway, they want me to send another selfie so they can read the information on the license. And they said, well, we couldn't read that. I said, well, look what a line you gave me to write on. I said, really? Oh, I was getting mad because people hate it when you point out their stupidity. And that was stupid. And this is the type of people that we got up there in the government, not smart enough to ask for a simple driver's license, birth certificate, and 2 proofs of where you live. And here I live in Indiana. This was done in another state. Really? I started to, the guy, I started to ask him if he had blonde hair. Dang. I'm like, really? Why would I go in person in a bank states over to get a loan? Why would I do that? How stupid is that? Ooh, I've been fired up. And these, my friends, are the kind of people that's running the country, that's running your money. So you might want to protect it. If I would have known, if they didn't wait 2 years to let me know about a loan, It's okay, Beth, and I wasn't yelling at you. I was just yelling out of frustration. It'll be. He goes Monday morning. He said I get here at. He's probably afraid not to do something because he's afraid I'd call him back and tear him up. He said I get here at 7 o'clock. He said just send me that email and all this will be over. I said really, but it's stupid. Just like I said, banks have cameras. I said, but because you waited 2 years, the stuff's gone. And um, really? I'm not a detective, but I think I'd be a much better detective than they are. I said, what about the CVT cameras in these banks? I said, because you waited 2 years before I knew anything about this, you will never catch who done this. Never. He didn't have much to say. He was afraid to talk, I think. He done pushed my button. You would think that you would get something that, saying that, when you take a loan out, you're going to get payment coupons from you owe this amount and they've decided after 2 years that after not being any payments now for 2 years, thank you, the earrings match. For 2 years, then they decide to send a bill out. I mean, it just sounds crazy. I said, if you would have been on the ball and let me know about this stupidity before 2 years, I said you might have been able to get the CC camera footage and know who did it. I said, dang, I said, I'm going to hang up a shingle and become a detective because obviously I'm pretty good at it. I tell you guys, I'm not a mean person, but when I get pushed into a corner, that's when it really gets ugly. But and what aggravates me is you would think that all this would be over with, settled. They got the bank statements, 2 3 year tax returns they just didn't want one page. They wanted all of it. He goes, oh, look at all this paperwork. I said, it was fun, wasn't it? And I meant it sarcastic too. And they could tell that their money wasn't there, because of their stupidity. They're not going to catch anybody anyway because they're too stupid. Dang. It's crazy. But he said they went right in that bank and got that money using a driver's license with my information and their picture. I was like, when he first told me that, I said, dang, I said, you mean there's two people on the face of the earth that look exactly like me? He said, no, they Photoshop and make a whatever. So now with the driver's license, when you get them, it has a star on it because that's what they call, you can't fly on a plane or nothing without that. A real ID, you can't go anywhere without that. So, and as dumb as they are, they'll see a star on there and think I'm in law enforcement, as stupid as they are. Gee. They got the police report, they got the everything, and they're just wanting to be it's not my fault that they don't provide enough room to write something. It ain't my fault. What am I going to have to do? Write it out on another piece of paper? Well, we couldn't see it when we blew it up. Well, bless their little hearts. It's ridiculous. And see, no, they shouldn't cut any heads there because I tell you, with 3 million people's information being stolen, I believe they should be busy for quite a while, wouldn't you say? And that came from him, not me. He told me that many people's information was stolen. So now that I have TransUnion and got that block on everything, they won't be able to get a piece of bubble gum. So unless I'm notified it's all locked down. So it might behoove you to do the same. And I'm not for sure what it costs, but it's a small price to pay for to keep someone from ruining your life. And it will. Can you imagine being in tow for 20 grand, over 20 grand? How can someone get a driver's license at the DMV with your name and information if someone from the DMV give them another copy of your license and the DMV may be screwed up big time? No, Alfonso, they didn't do it. There are people out there that are so criminal minded that they can reproduce something like that. And they could have, per se, your information with their picture on it. They can do it. I mean, I'm not, I don't have a criminal mind. I wouldn't know where to start, but they do that. And that's what he said, that they will take, he said they Photoshop, they can make things look so legitimate that it's not even funny. I think that may be why that they're now putting that star on license so that they will definitely know that, but it's so aggravating. It's like a reoccurring nightmare. He said, come Monday, it'll all be taken care of. And I'm thinking, oh boy, it better, or I'll climb you like an old in a tree house. He could tell I could get nasty real quick, but sometimes you have to get nasty because that's the only thing people acknowledge. And like I said, there's people do not like to admit when they're wrong, and they'll do anything. Now, if I'm wrong, I'll admit it, but if I'm not, you're going to have to fight me, and I don't give up. I'm a very honest person, but I'll tell you, if I'm wrong, if I'm not, I can get pretty nasty if I have to. But no, that's what happened. Can you imagine? And that poor elderly guy, he was going to be in toll for over $300 a month, and the poor guy only drew $1,300 in Social Security. After you pay the rent, what's left? These people that do this have absolutely no conscience. It's about money, and they don't care. But see, they want to make sure that you have a good credit rating before you become their victim. So beware, I'm telling you. They really dropped the ball. But, no wonder they want to cut heads. There are probably some heads there with nothing in them. So, like I said, guys, there's different things that agitate me, and that's one of them. And I'm sure he's dealt with a lot of people that has really lit him up. And that's his position. Maybe next time when they offer a loan, then maybe they should ask for more information, like a birth certificate, because that undoubtedly identifies you. Your Social Security can be compromised. Here's how they do that. If you live in a certain state, has the first three numbers, and then they can figure out the second part. They figure that out. Isn't it really scary that they could have access to your information just as easy as turning on a computer? And it happens. It happened to me. But yeah, it's more than likely I'll probably be having an auction next Thursday. But it just, when you send all this documentation and they're still being persnickety. And the question that was asked, have you ever been, has anyone ever stolen your identity or something like that? And I said, yeah, someone applied for a Capital One card in my name and said it was me, and then in return had someone else added to it. And then Capital One calls me, which I thought was a little strange, and asked me if I took a card out. I said, absolutely not. So there's that. And whoever had it went to Walgreens. And here's the thing, they said they went to Walgreens and spent $500. So I tracked down and they told me where it was spent. So I called the sheriff's office in that, which it was in Kentucky, in that state, and I told him what happened. He goes, "Ma'am, we don't even have a Walgreens here. This is a small town." He goes, "If I was you, I would go into that and look a little deeper." He said, "We don't even have a Walgreens." So it could have, to me, I believe it was done inside that place, so, but no, somebody opened them up account, added another person on it, said that they called me and asked me. I said, "No, you didn't." I said, "What number did you call?" I said, "That's not my number." I said, "Do you want me to send you a copy of it?" And I said, "That's not me, and I'm not paying you one red cent." I said, why in the world would you call me anyway and ask me if I took a card out? Unless you were suspicious. Now, come on. Sometimes, guys, you got to get nasty. And I may not cuss. I don't say cuss words, but I've got a sharp tongue. I admit that. But I only use it in my defense or someone I care a lot about. So I didn't expect to explode like that. Yeah, Alfonso, there are people out there that do. There's one right now, and I'll tell you which one it is. Here's another one to watch out for. So I was looking in my messages, and here's what to look out for. Right here, they're talking about the stimulus stuff. Don't fall for that. Let me find it. So I don't know if I got rid of it, but it talks about a stimulus, and we're not getting squat. Don't let it fool you. They ain't gonna hand out any money. But it was something about the stimulus, and they sent me two back-to-back messages, and I'm like, do they think I'm that dumb? But it's about a stimulus, and I know you've probably heard that. And all they're doing is fishing for information. So if you get something about a stimulus, you ain't getting squat because as you can see through all the money that the government lost because of their stupidity, they ain't got nothing left over. So you ain't gonna get no stimulus. So I see that on commercials on YouTube talking about that. Don't let it fool you because you're not. So, yeah, it's about a stimulus. So if you get that, just delete it. It's somebody wanting to get your information, and just don't do it. That's one of them. So, and there's some things that I don't even click on because I use Photoshop to create images with my model trains and to make my album covers for my CDs. I've heard that Adobe will soon require background check to buy photos. Yeah, what Alfonso said, because, well, that just answered the question. The photo chop shop or whatever. That's how these crooks make these fake document license or whatever, and they insert someone else's picture with another person's name and information. That's what they do. And I can't think like that because I'm absolutely not a crook. But yeah, speaking of throwing elbows, he better get busy or I might throw some elbows. But yeah, that's how they do it. Isn't it scary to know that someone can get a copy of your driver's license, Photoshop their picture right on there, get your social security number, and when the financial institutions go in to check your credit, of course they know that to start with before they even use your name. They know what your credit's like. And mine was very high, and that it was my credit alone, not my husband's. It was mine. I always paid for everything that it was my credit rating. So, but yeah, they don't want anybody with a bad credit rating, because they would tell them, well, sorry about that, son. Your rating really stinks, and you're not getting the loan. So that's what they go on a lot, is to see your payment, how you pay your or have paid your bills in the past. But yeah, there's some really some crooks out there. I think that a lot of this stuff, just like that, you have a lot of credit card companies that you can apply for a credit card right online, right online. So, and they can send anything like that. Adobe is trying to keep criminals and predators from using Photoshop and Premiere Pro video editing and After FX. Yeah, because there's Alfonso, there's so many things going on in this world. There's so many dishonest people. A lot of people wouldn't work in a pie factory, per my stepmother used to say that all the time. But they don't want to work. They want to spend someone else's money. They want to be a crook. 9 times out of 10, when they do this, they don't get caught because they've did it in the past. They know what to avoid and where to do what, and they never get caught. Just like the ones that the identity was stolen of 3 million people, they'll never catch them. And that and to know that 3 million people's identity was stolen ought to scare the crap out of people. If they can get their identity, they can get anybody's identity. And I'm not being paranoid, but after this experience, I definitely got my all my stuff frozen through TransUnion and all that. And they even have a thing, if it does get compromised and someone does get something, that your money will be replaced. But I tell you can be ruined real easy. Matt, and see, a lot of times they like to prey on the elderly people, like that are older, that a lot of them do these phone calls that on elderly people. The big one is Amazon, and they leave a message or say that you owe $999, and they know that the older generation were never lazy, and they want to intimidate them. Number one, Amazon will never call you ever, and they're just fishing for information, and it's terrible. It's like my caller ID. If I don't recognize the number, I will not answer it. You know what I mean? It's just not good. And you get so many emails of people trying to get you to do a loan and stuff like that. And see, I just delete it because you don't know what they're up to. There was one scam that was going around that people were sent rings in these boxes, like a regular ring. And so I don't know if they were real or whatever, but they had a QR code on the corner and say, scan this to register your jewelry. Well, when you scan it, they've got your information and you're done. You're done. So that's another one. So there's all kinds of scams out there, and it's just you don't want to be paranoid, but you don't want to be an idiot neither. You want to kind of be aware. There's websites out there that look legitimate, that sell items that are not real. If someone's it's someone scamming, so just be careful. And so, but no, this place has enough of my information to know that that my information was stolen. I mean, there's no way they're going to find their 20 grand in any tax thing. So I heard about this the scan code scam, so I stopped sending business cards with. Yeah, Laura, isn't that a shame that decent, honest people that have a business that have those QR codes can't use them because everyone's afraid that it's indeed a scam. But it's a shame that we have come to what we have come to, but it's sad. So, I mean, something like that, someone stealing your identity can be an absolute nightmare because, and the thing of it is when you don't know what's going on is when it's the most scary. When you find out 2 years after the fact, it's like, really? And it could have been stopped, and they could have possibly even caught the person that was behind it. I don't know, but they waited I mean, that I've never known a government agency to wait 2 years for their payment. Now, if it's the IRS, they'll garnish your wages, they'll come and get you, lock you up, and throw the key under the jail. So that's why I don't understand. And it was connected with the government. So that's why I never understood why that they would wait 2 years. Well, duh. After 2 months, you didn't get a payment. Hello, knock, knock. But they waited 2 years. And that's why I was so confused. And when I went to the police station to get the police report on it, they said, well, why in the world is this dated 2 years ago, from 2 years ago? I said, you got me. You tell me and we'll both know. But, it seems like the most obvious of cases, like the answer's right in front of their face. I don't know if they just have so many. Couldn't you imagine? Oh, that would be awful. But yeah, he said the current administration is cutting jobs. And here's what he said: the current administration is cutting jobs. And once we get all this settled, we're going to revamp. If they got a chair to sit in, because they, that's what he said. We're going to revamp the system. Well, you should have revamped it a long time ago. When it comes to, he said, yeah, he said it was probably a male that got everything started, and since it was your identity and you're a female, they had to send a female in. He probably split the money with her. So, at the end of the day, they were the ones that were made a fool out of, and they ain't getting nothing from me because they can't prove it. If I had that amount of money in one sole deposit of $20,000, they would have seen it. Hey, Josie, I've been ranting. We're talking about this small business association loan, and something wasn't clear, and we need that first page, and we need you to hold your license up to your face and make sure we can see your license. And he goes, well, he said on that first page, and this is from last summer, mind you. Hey, Lenore, welcome in, and welcome in, Josie. And I said, did you see the line that you provided for the comment? Ooh, I was so mad. So, he's the one that told me that 3 million people's identity were stolen, and that it's crazy. I mean, what kind of financial institution loans $20,000 and doesn't get any money for 2 years, and then they decide to send the bill? Usually they'll send you, it took them 2 years to figure out that it wasn't going to be paid back. Really? People don't like it when they're made to look like a fool. They say it's better to remain silent and be thought a fool than to open your mouth and remove all doubt. So, yeah. So I have to send them, I guess they said that, I had to fill that in and it was lengthy and they didn't give me much room to do it with. So I'm going to print out another copy and redo it. And they want, well, we couldn't, you're on your license. We couldn't, when we enlarged it, it was blurry. Jiminy crickets. No wonder heads are being cut. They need to be cut. Some of them don't. There's when they shake their head, it probably rattles because they're that stupid. Oh, I cannot stand dumb people. Just because they were stupid and didn't, like Beth said, due diligence. If they would have asked for a birth certificate, they would. If they would have asked them for a birth certificate, they would have never showed up. They would have never. That would have clinched it. Now I'm just a regular person. I have a high school I graduated from high school, and I was able to come up with that. And they're supposed to be these high paid stooges, and they couldn't think about that. Gee, like I said, these are the kind of people that's over your money. The government, the ones that never makes mistakes and you're guilty until you prove yourself innocent, you know. But when he said, "Oh my goodness, look at all this paperwork," we sent over, it was almost 200 pages after they got their 3 tax returns and all the bank accounts. And I said, it was fun, wasn't it? And I meant it sarcastic. I said, I don't understand what's going on here. I said, you can look through there and you don't see your money. And I said, I'm really getting over this. I know, Josie, some people do. There's people that would rather steal other people's hard earned money than to get their lazy rumps out there and work. It's just a fact. Why, they're thinking, well, why should I get a job when I can go on a computer and I can do this stuff and rip people off and not even leave my house? See, but it's just crazy. And it just rubbed me the wrong way. This was all they asked for, all this back in the summer, and daggone it, they waited till March of this year. I know they're behind, but my goodness, don't give you an explanation. I had to ask them point blank for that information. They didn't think enough of me to call me and tell me about well, how was it done? Was it done online? Did they come in the bank? I know, Lenore, and what aggravates me so bad is that they, they want, well, we couldn't read that, and well, it was blurry. Well, the tax paper and the bank accounts, I'm sure, weren't blurry. Ooh. Josie said, I still have to work and I'm old, so I don't have nice words for lazy. Yeah, Josie, she's busy all the time, but you just get these people that think that the world owes them a living and they can spend your money better than you can, and they think of ways to do it night and day. But yeah, when he told me 3 million people's information was leaked, I about fell over. 3 million people's information was stolen. He goes, well, you're not the only one. I said, well, that's what it sounds like. That's a big number. Could someone be that stupid that many times? But and here's the thing, they know that I live in Indiana. And why, I forget where the state was it took place. Why would I go to another state to get a loan? Why would I do that? That's stupid. But oh, I was so mad. I said, I am so tired of this. I'm going to end. I said, they're going to tell me what happened and how it happened because I'm not playing. I said, I've had about as much of them as I'm going to take. And was I ugly on the phone? You darn right I was because I got tired of it. Let's see. After a while, it gets ridiculous. You send them everything but the kitchen sink on your house, and then they still aren't happy. That's ridiculous. And what about them doing that elderly man like that? I guess different ones are assigned to different fraud or identity theft cases. And it just aggravates me. It's a reoccurring nightmare, and I'm really tired of it. And it's just crazy. And I hate to get all upset on the phone, but there ain't nobody going to accuse me of something, and I sent them multiple pages of paperwork. Now, come on. But that's your government, the ones that hand out money and don't ask for information like they should, and so someone can really prove that that's who they really are. Yeah. And I graduated from high school, and I was smart enough to come up and ask, well, why didn't they ask for a birth certificate? Jiminy crickets. That's why a lot of people's heads are being cut up there, because they sit there, and who's paying for their money? It's us, and they do very little and screw up all the time. So if I'm going to pay somebody, at least they can have a brain. You know what I'm talking about? But it's just ridiculous. So the time is going to come when that's why I have all my financial information locked up. So if they try to get something and I get notified, it'll be so bad, so sad, too bad, because they won't be able to get into it because I put the locks to it. So, but anyway, it's really sad. I hope none of you out there ever have to go through an identity theft situation. It's not fun. And then the government, the people, it makes you wonder what they think with, if their brain is up here or down there. And I'm not the type you want to cross, let me tell you, because I will hand them the rear end. If they think that I'm the one that got the money, let them show it to me. They can't. That's why they want to keep nitpicking. Well, I'll send them their information. So, but it's like, it was stressful when it happened. It was stressful when we had to send all that paperwork. It's still stressful because it took them this long to contact me. And it's just stressful. And no wonder people lose their cool. Gee whiz, you send half your life story to somebody, and it's like, really? So I just got tired of dealing with them, and I just blew up. I had all I was going to take. Government or no government, they put their pants on just like I do, one leg at a time, male and female. So there's that. Well, guys, I'm going to let you go. I just wanted to let y'all know about the scams, and if you can get your information, of course, I forget what it costs, but through TransUnion and all three of them, it might cost some money, but if someone comes in and gets a loan for X amount of thousands of dollars and makes your life miserable, this will stop them. So even if they do succeed, we get reimbursed for whatever, that was taken. And it's just the peace of mind knowing that if something like this happens to you, you'll be able to stop it. And then all the other scams out there, and The one about the stimulus. Let me tell you, the government's not going to give you nothing. They already screwed up with 3 million people on money. Do we really think that we're going to get one red cent? Even I can figure that out. And I think I got two messages like that back to back, like your stimulus, and I knew better than that. And then you have them talking on YouTube on these commercials, which they should totally take off. That's why these scammers are doing what they're doing. I mean, really? I mean, I graduated from high school, never stepped one foot in college, but I know that much. Hey, Mama Chola, welcome in. Gee whiz, but I I'd hate to see anyone else go through identity theft. It's not a joke. It's not it's almost like a nightmare, and just the way it happened, it was just crazy. It made no sense. Good to see you, Mama Chola. Thanks for the hearts. I appreciate that. Well, I've been tough for about 50% of my life, and I don't see caving now. I'm a little tougher, and I can be really tough now. I've been in situations where I've had to be. I really have, and you don't even know the yet has been yet to be told. That's for sure. But no, it's a good thing that I have a brain, or I might be in toll for 20 grand. Not this girl. And this guy said, well, the process is long, and this one person tried to use the influence of a congressman. I said, well, a politician is one of the most crooked people on the face of the earth. What could he do for somebody? Really? I said, if someone wanted to introduce me to a politician, I'd say, no, thank you. No, thanks. Oh, we're talking about identity theft, Mama Chola, and it happened to me. And I didn't know anything about what was done until 2 years after the fact. And then they just send me this thing that says that you owe 20,800 and some odd dollars, and it's from the Small Business Association, and then they want 3 years of tax returns, all the copies of all the bank accounts, a picture of me holding my license, but they want to make sure it's clear so they can see what's on the license. Then they wanted the back of the license too, so I sent them that. Now they said the page one of the first declaration, some of the wording was not clear. When they enlarged it, it was fuzzy. Well, hello. They don't give you much room to write, and I'm very descriptive. So I got to send them that. So that's not a big deal, but it's the fact that they were sent, it was almost 200 pages of information. And it's just ridiculous. And so I guess they have different people assigned to different people's cases. And I'm like, him saying, well, I've got allergies and the weather changes just like I change wives. And I'm thinking, why would I want to know that? He might think it's a joke, but he's lucky I didn't light into him. If he was trying to be a comedian, let him do it somewhere else, because it wasn't funny. And then he turns around and says he's a Christian. Well, first of all, there's not that much wrong with that many women if he had several wives. And why would he even say that? See, that's the kind of people that we got working up there in the government. Those real professional ones that don't know how to investigate someone before they give them a loan. Stuff like that. I didn't need to know. Who cares? Maybe he thought he was Don Juan. I don't care who he thought he was. As talking about as he changed his wives, like I said, it has to be him. There can't be that much wrong with all them females. So it had to been him. He said a lot in one statement. Clint Eastwood. Yeah, well, I'll send them their information, but I tell you, when I get crossed, I come out and I'm nasty. I don't curse and never have. But boy, I'll back you into the corner with the facts, I guarantee you. So I'm not really one to be toyed with when I'm serious. Yeah, but I guess in a way he thought that he could tell I was upset and that maybe if he made me laugh that I would calm down. But no, like I said, there's so many scams and and I thought, well, maybe I should tell you guys about what happened and how many people got their identity stolen at almost when COVID, when people were able to get out, they were given these um, first time business loans, and some of them were the money was free, and some of it was a low interest loan, and that's what they did. They opened the door for these scammers to rip them off. I don't feel sorry for somebody that brings something on themselves. And where the money come from on the free loans, you're looking at us right here. And then have the audacity to oh, thank you, Mama Chola. I'm feisty now. I'm the best. I'm probably the most helpful person you'll ever see, but I tell you, when I get mad and I have the facts, I will back somebody into a corner in a minute, probably less. But I guess there's always going to be things in this world that's going to happen that's going to upset you. But I figure I did the work, and so I'll send them what they want. Thank you, Mama Chola. You are too. I don't know you personally, but I think you are too. But we get to that point where you give people what they ask for, and they're nitpicking. It's nitpicking. For the first thing, they thought that I would not send them that information. Wrong, I did. They thought 3 years of tax returns, page by page by page, 3 years of it. They thought I wasn't going to do it. Well, you never want to tempt me, because you might get what you're asking for, but it may not be what you think you're going to get. My grandchildren are always yelling at me because I'm always pushing buttons. And what is that food allowance card is a ripoff? Yes, Mama Chola. And see, and some of this garbage is on YouTube about this stimulus. We're not getting squat. Okay, that's the ghetto version. We're not getting squat. And then you get people, well, you need to get on there right away and blah 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 blah, and before you know it, you've given out more information than you really should have. And it is a ripoff. And Mama Chola, they are doing things to Medicare that's wrong too. A friend of mine, they're not paying as much on her medicine as they did in the past, and that's like Social Security. That when you work and you get to a certain age, that's your prerogative. That is not. It's not like these people out here that we're paying for, that has one kid right after the other, and they do nothing about it. They know if they have kids, they're going to get paid. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the system, because there are poor people. I would rather see the elderly taken care of first, period. The ones that have worked all their life, and stop handing out these money. Make these people work. Why should we pay for them and we paid in Social Security? And yeah, Mama Chola, I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. And the reason why a lot of it took place is because when people came into this country illegally and they were given everything and medications, well, like a lot of your medications, during this past 6 months ago, they were giving our medication first to these people that shouldn't have been here in the first place. I'm not against anyone coming to America. It is the land of opportunity, but do it the right way and don't allow gang members and rapists into this country. And that's exactly what they did. And that's why Mama Chola, and this came from a friend of mine asked him that question, and she said because of that. And that didn't come from hearsay. That came right out of the representative sitting at that desk where the Medicare is done. Yeah, but the cost of everything's going up, and medicine's one of them. And a lot of times, I think it's sad when older people uh, have to do without something because they have to have a place to live and stuff like that. It's ridiculous where these people have worked all their life. And I would lay odds that there are people on the system that we're paying for that can work and they won't make them. Go ahead and have that other kid. There's some poor chump out here working 7 days a week sometimes and on Social Security. We're going to help you out. Go ahead and be lazy. You have another kid, don't worry about it. We're going to take care of it, and we're going to take it out of the American people's pockets. And it's crazy, and it's been going on for a long, long time. Now they load their, like I said, I have have nothing. There's nothing wrong with helping out a person in need, and I do not like to see little kids hungry. But there is a thing where um, these people can work. I think help. There's nothing wrong with helping people to the point where they get them in job training and stuff like that, and get them a job, for God's sake. We're tired of paying for deadbeat people where the lady's not married to the guy. There's 3 or 4 kids in there, and they're getting money for all 3 of them. He's laying up doing nothing, and she's dumb enough to let him. The worst part, honestly, is all of the fraud with Social Security with the people that died and people who are still getting their check. Oh, yeah. There should be so much money in Social Security that it would be mind boggling, but they keep dipping into. Really, you're better off with your money in an old sock under your mattress because so the government can't get a hold of it, and it's bad. And yeah, there's a lot of fraud. I think a lot of times there's a lot of fraud in government agencies. There's corruption in with the police. There's all of that. In government, we know they're in government, but there's even things going on in with the police that's crooked. They'd never admit it, but for case in point, there was a guy that they caught down here. He was sheriff, and he was spending money off of the EMS debit card that ran the ambulance service. He had inmates doing work on his home, which I'm sure they didn't know that they were doing it. He had many cars. He had an airplane. Then he got caught. So now EMS, the ambulance company, is suing him for spending major money on one of their credit cards. And then his wife and his daughter was involved in it. And in the begin, they sent him up north, and the mother and the daughter wanted to be tried together, and they said no because the daughter was over 21 years of age. And then they went on this thing where that it was done because the wife was abused. Now, bull. That was a ploy from her attorney to get her a lighter sentence. So, and then they wanted to be tried together. Well, that didn't fly neither. And he's up somewhere up north incarcerated, and I'm sure that he's been kept separate from the other inmates because he probably sent someone to prison himself. So, corruption, it's really bad. He had a baby with someone that worked in the same building. He was using the EMS credit card to pay child support. Hey Angie, welcome in. So if his wife was so distraught and so abused, and she enjoyed that money though, didn't she? I don't believe that for 1 minute. Her attorney used that as a last ditch effort to get her neck out of the news. I live in Indiana, Mama Chola. I'm in Florida. There's too many old people and there's too many disabled people. There's not enough help for older people. I was told to move out of the state of Florida. Mama Chola, that used to be my forte. I worked in the field of caregiving for 9 years, and I had a lot of older people, and I really enjoyed doing it. And I tell you, this is so weird. It's like, I was one of the best in the company, and they would tell you because of the way I took care of them. They never had to worry about me being late, stealing, or do anything like that. And the reason why I kind of quit doing it is because a lot of times with older people, and I know this is going to sound crazy, if they're especially females, if there are females involved that are in the family, they become envious of the caregiver. And I'm not saying that as a speculation, it happened too many times. It's like they want you to come in and do a good job, which I always did. But at the end of the day, they would be jealous of your relationship with that person. And I just got tired of it. I said, hey, I have no regrets. I know what kind of job that I did and the people that I took care of. I said, I don't need this anymore. I'm not going to put up with it. And you would think that they would be so grateful for someone that they could trust taking care of their loved one, but they were jealous. It was stupid. I treated people like I wanted to be treated. They were spoiled because they were worth it. And they got jealous of that. And I just said, that's it. I said, I don't like to be in an atmosphere of negativity, and I can sense it. I've had workers show up drunk. Yeah, Mama Chola, that actually happened. And I was they would tell you, I was one of the best in that company because I cared. They could count on me. I treated people with dignity and respect. I spoiled them rotten. And I didn't want them to feel like they were another number. I wanted them to, which I think is a rare trait in people today. It's not like I went in there, looked at my watch, come on, whatever time it was to get off. I didn't do that because I was focused solely on. Thank you, Mama Chola, for coming in. Thank you so much. Okay, Mama Chola, I appreciate that. But I guess, we go through things and we don't realize how bad it bothers us. It's almost like we go through this time of stress and then something will come up that will trigger a thought and you just go pow. And, you just have to, maybe maybe YouTube is a good form of therapy. So maybe that's, I don't know. It just, sometimes it's just good to blow off that steam, but I'm hoping after Monday this will be settled. I mean, they have everything else they need. So I just think that I was one of the many that got my identity stolen. Oh no, the devil, I know how the devil operates and he works through people. I know that for sure, but no. And sometimes you get to the point where enough's enough and you just have to say how you feel. It's not that I did not come on here to, well, what do they call that? A rant video. I don't really look at this because it didn't start out like that. But once I remembered all the things that I went through because of the negligence of other people, it just really it really got me. And I'm sorry, guys, because I didn't think I was going to blow up like that. Not, and I don't want anyone to feel like, gee, she's a mean one, because I'm really not. I'm human. I have feelings just like everyone else. I get aggravated and it just comes out all at once. But I believe, one thing about me, I'm always going to tell the truth and I'm going to keep it real. And that's the way I am. I am a realist. Basically, that's really all that I can be. I'm not, that's me. I just keep it real, you know. So I know that sometimes it's always good to have someone to talk to when you're going through struggles and things like that. But I do have a sharp tongue. I do admit that. But guys, sometimes it's necessary. It really is. Not that I enjoy it, just like Angie said. She said she's a very nice person, but she can get upset, but she don't like to. That's true because we never know, guys, we never know what people are going through, and sometimes it's just good to be in the company of people that that genuinely cares about you. I'm a caring person, I have always, and it was exemplified in my work. Yeah, we all have that side, and it was always exemplified in my work. And I don't know, I just felt like each person was special, and a lot of people, I didn't look at them as a number, I looked at them as a human being. And my goal was whatever the situation was, if they had a disability or something, I like to work with that to be able to get them to maybe accomplish something that maybe other people gave up on them, and kind of they wanted to accomplish something and people just gave up on them. And it wasn't, to me, it was just, oh, yeah, Angie, that's for real. I know where you're coming from, girl. I know, I know. I think I think me, you, and Josie can get really horsey when the time presents itself. But hey, you know, sometimes you just have to say what's on your mind. And but I think me, you, and Josie are kind of like mathematicians. We analyze the situation and look at all different avenues of it. And yeah, I don't like to, but I speak my truth. Sometimes, Angie, it's really necessary because sometimes the unspoken words are the ones that come back to haunt us. And as long as, and I know we get upset, boy, do I get upset. And I'm kind of, when you see my eyes get real, really bright green, you know it, somebody done pushed the wrong button. But normally I'm a pretty calm person, but I'm like everyone else. I do not like indecisiveness in my life. I don't like unsettled business. And, I guess that's just me. I just don't like things looming. And, if people need something, tell me for God's sake. I have been accused of being psychic, but my goodness, but you guys, I'm going to let you go. I'm sorry that I barked in your ear, but maybe it was necessary. If you ever need to bark in my ear, just send me an email. It takes a lot to set me off, but when it happens, well, oh, yes. And sometimes, I don't, it just came out. It was, I guess it was just something I had in the back of my mind. And things, you think about things that are so obvious to other people, and you're sitting there, well, why can't they see this? Why isn't the obvious? Yes, I do, Rudy. I sure do. It's right over here. Yeah, and I've worked with, I don't think I've ever had anyone that had autism, but I had someone that had Williams syndrome, where part of the chromosome was missing. And I find that people that have these disabilities, yes, I know, Rudy, and it just really tickles me to see you come in because I think a lot of times that when people that have autism come in and converse with other people in a chat, because everyone wants to be a part of something. And Rudy is learning through our interaction. Rudy don't learn the hypersensitive part on me, but he's learning, and it's so good to, just because a person has a disability does not make them less of a person. No, Rudy, I haven't seen that, but it is so good for someone that has autism to be a part of something, because in fact they are learning. And I guess it has to do with what I had done for 9 years and worked with people. And it's like, to me, people were not just a number. I, for instance, the person that I had with Williams syndrome, it was very important for me to teach him certain things, that sometimes there's certain things that they can't grasp. But to me, he wasn't just my job. I felt like, if I'm going to do a job, I'm going to teach him something that he may not have learned before, that to be taught. I guess I'm a teacher at heart. I don't know, but I just felt like that. I wanted him to make an accomplishment, and I wanted to help him do that. But no, Rudy, I haven't, but I'll have to check that out. But oh, yes, absolutely. I have three wonderful young men with autism under the age of 16. Oh, wow. But yes, it's very, very important for the odd people that have autism to be out in, say, like a chat like YouTube, because they may not learn as fast as we do, but they're learning. They become social and they enjoy it. They really do. Two nephews and one grandson. But yeah, they learn, and I'm telling you, no matter what our intellect is, our capabilities, we all want to be a part of something. And it's great for him. He's getting to And I really enjoyed that. And he was the first one in. So evidently there was something about me that he saw in me and acknowledged that he likes. I guess the encouragement part, I guess, but I try to be, encouraging and stuff like that. But, I always, like I said, I always tried to teach, the younger ones maybe skills that they couldn't do before and things like that because they were more than just hours on a clock to me. They were human beings. And it just, I guess it made me feel a sense of accomplishment to, I was contributing something to this world that was positive, and that's how I really looked at it. But yeah, it's, and he likes to converse, and I like to see him come in and he's learning all at the same time. And I think that's really amazing. I really do. We all want to be a part of something. Well, guys, I'm going to let you go since I must say this might be my first haul slash rant video. I mean, I was ranting, but I had good reason. So, me, I'm a very private person, and if I feel like I can open up to you guys, that says a lot. It really does. But yeah, you're like, man, she was like real. But anyway, I'm harmless, really. But sometimes it just comes out and we can't stop it. So I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you for being here. Don't forget that thumbs up. I love you guys. Auction coming down on Thursday, probably at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't have the thumbnail out yet, but I'll get it out. I love you guys. Take care of each other, and I'll catch you at the next one. Thank you so much for being here. Bye bye, everyone. Thank you.